live from the Convocation Center on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. It is PSAC women's basketball action here live on PCN and the PSAC Sports Network. Hello and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Anthony D'Agostino, and alongside me today is Dylan Godet and Danny Beck. Guys, we have a great matchup between the number 14 California Vulcans and the Slippery Rock. Really quickly get into the last games for these two teams. Dylan, for California, they went to Clarion on Wednesday. They came away with an easy victory for them, 71-39.
Yeah, they did, and they started out that game on a huge run to start that first half there. Clarion was unable to get going there early, was Clarion, and California really took advantage of their press there with California and their defensive pressure to get that win.
And Dan, we'll get to you after this tip. Shatara Parsons tips it off to Valacorsa and gets off to Casals, so California will start first. And Danny, for Slippery Rock, they're starting on defense first. They lost in a heartbreaker to Gannon.
They definitely did. They converted 2 free throws, Gannon did, with 2.8 seconds left to give them the loss in that one. Sierra Fordham scored 20 points. She was 64% from the field, so look out for her today.
California just lost possession there. It'll be Slippery Rock ball to start off this game. Some starters for you real quick. For California, number 3, Shatara Parsons, a 6-foot senior forward out of Harrisburg, PA. Number 12, Jameer Jeffries, a 5'10 sophomore guard forward out of Germantown, Maryland. Number 14, the 5'8 redshirt sophomore guard out of Grenoble, Spain, Natalia Casals. Number 21, the junior for California, Mia Couchon out of Raytown, Maryland. And number 23, the 5'9 guard sophomore, Gina Valacorsa. And Valacorsa missed that shot there, rebounded there. And it's rebounded now by Brooke Hinderleiter. Hinderleiter's shot, no good, rebounded by Valacorsa. Still no points as Casals shot up off the rim, rebounded there by number 20, Leanne Gibson, the 5'10 sophomore forward out of Chicora, PA.
You want to see California driving to the hoop, get those higher percentage shots, and right there, Casals, she looked like she had a wide open shot. Unfortunately, she could not convert.
Gibson working on Couchon. Shot up blocked by Parsons, and Parsons does that a lot as she puts up another shot. That one's no good, and then Parsons gets the rebound. Dylan, we see that a lot from Parsons, blocking shots and then getting the rebound.
Yeah, we do there, and she's playing with a bit of an injury. We saw that against Clarion on Wednesday night. She was dealing with some pain during that one, so keep on the lookout for her. Is she able to play through that as well as she did there on Wednesday night? And
we were talking about a little bit of soreness as she makes that shot there. We thought it was maybe a little bit of soreness just due to the fact that she looked like she was kind of leaning over, and then she would run, she would sprint, and she was fine. So it was kind of a different approach to an injury.
A foul there on Natalia Casals, bumping off of Sierra Fordham, this 5'9 senior guard out of Pittsburgh, PA. And Fordham will start here for the Rock. Getting it inside to Henderson, as now Petropolis 3 is up and off the rim. Casals falls down, so she can't get the rebound, and it'll be Sierra Fordham with it now for the Rock. Tipped by Parsons on that pass, and she's picking up the ball. Up comes Couchon. No fast break here as California did not have an odd man rush there.
And she just has the hustle out there on the floor. Shatara Parsons does. She does whatever she can for her team.
And one for Gina Valacorsa as she goes through the defense. What moves by her going behind the back through the defense, gets the contact and the shot to fall, Dylan.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that too often out of Valacorsa this season. She's not really known for her driving ability, but right there she got right to the rim and finishes with her left hand and draws a foul.
And they're going to take a timeout, and the media will be here, but we're going to keep it here, Danny. And we talked about the last game. Now talk about the last meeting. Number 10, California against Slippery Rock. At Slippery Rock, California won 71-62.
Yeah, that game was pretty close. You see these two teams on the tail of the tape here. They're pretty evenly matched up squads. Scoring about 69 points per game, and then the field goal percentage as well. California wants to bump that up. It's just about at 43% this season. Also the three-point shots. California has some shooters on their team. They really need to put those shots up later in contests. We saw that against Clarion quite a few times. But California really just trying to execute on what they're good at and do it to the best of their ability.
And Dylan, break down some of these stats. You played basketball before. Break down some of them stats.
I think really the difference in these two teams' records is really those steals per game. California there with near 14 Slippery Rock was only 7. California's able to get so many more possessions, which is why their field goal percentage there only around 43%, but the amount of possessions that California gets just by turning teams over with those 14 steals per game, that's the difference in these two teams' records this season. That's why California is on top, ranked nationally, just for their defensive ability to turn teams over.
Their defense turning teams over, but it's their defense turning into offense that really is what California looks for in this game of basketball. They get the steals, they get the turnovers, and then they bring back the points. So you're going to hear a lot today. We're going to talk a lot about points off of turnovers. And California, they strive and they win games off of those points off the turnovers, Daniel.
They do, as well as the second chance points. You can see on that last possession, Shatara Parsons just getting the rebound and setting up her offense yet again. We'll see that's going to be kind of a narrative that we're going to keep reiterating here tonight, or today, excuse me. But yeah, that's Shatara Parsons just big out there on the floor.
Valacorsa, 62.5% free throw shooter, misses her first one. And Sierra Fordham now working on Natalia Casals. That one's stolen away there by Mia Kushan. Right here, points off of turnovers possibly, and they do convert. 6-0 run for California, starting off right after we talk about points off of turnovers, guys.
Almost like you were looking into a crystal ball right there, Anthony. Good effort, again, on the defensive side.
Just able to steal the ball away was Mia Kushan, as Hinderleiter there, blocked by Parsons, and she gets the ball back. A steal there for California.
Parsons looks fine there with her injury. She's playing hard and not the same player we saw Wednesday night.
That was too far for Valacorsa, and now comes Hinderleiter. Hinderleiter on Parsons. Parsons doesn't get the block, but a good tip by Kushan, and is rebounded there by Valacorsa. Parsons gets it off now, and Mia Kushan over now. Casals. Parsons driving in through the lane, tough shot, no good, and it's out of bounds off of her. That was just a weird shot there from Parsons.
Yeah, for Parsons there, she just tried to do a little too much there on the offensive end. But again, we're kind of reiterating her injury because she's the best player on this California team, averaging over 20 points per game. Any abilities that she's not able to do due to an injury is significant there for California, but she looks fine here early on. Not really seeing the soreness and the tightness that we saw on Wednesday night.
That pass is going to go out of bounds. Off of California, tipped out of bounds. It'll be 17 seconds on the shot clock. As Slippery Rock will inbound it with Brooke Hinderleiter. Under the basket. Gibson shot up, no good. Rebounded there by Shatara Parsons.
And
Parsons already with 4 rebounds to start out this game. In the first couple minutes there with already 4 rebounds.
Parsons with it now, a jump shot off the mark and off the backboard, and Brooke Hinderleiter will rebound it for the Rock. Mia Kushan working on her, switches off the screen as a pass now to Skyla O'Connor, the 5'8" freshman guard out of Medford, New Jersey, and it goes out of bounds here. Tipped, it'll be Slippery Rock ball.
And California just smothering this Rock offense right now. Kind of seems like they're switching and using these screens to their advantage. You normally don't see a defense using an offensive screen to their advantage, but California moving around the pick and picking up each player out there on the floor.
Hinderleiter will inbound it from the baseline. Gets it off to O'Connor. A 3 up and good for Skyla O'Connor as she cuts the lead in half.
Perfectly executed inbound play right there. You love to see that if you're the head coach for the Rock out there on the floor.
O'Connor only shooting the ball 10% from behind the three-point line this season, so it's big for her to be able to hit one there for Slippery Rock.
Checking in, Abby Sporio, the 5'7" junior guard out of Elizabeth, PA, transferred out of UPJ, as well as number 1, the 5'6" freshman guard out of Middletown, PA, Bianca Jasper. Danny, Abby Sporio has been out with a head injury since the IUP game last Wednesday.
Yeah, she has, and seeing how her, presence out there for California, we're going to see she brings a little bit of speed to this California's offense, as well as a defensive pressure.
Parsons, with 2 girls on her, is able to get the rebound after Slippery Rock couldn't control it. Kushan, with 2 seconds on the shot clock, shot is up off the rim, and a foul here on Parsons as she goes over the back of Mallory Hindley.
Parsons, that's going to be somebody for California to look out for in terms of fouls. Don't want her to pick up too many fouls. But for California, this lineup here with with Sporio and Jasper checking in, you're not losing anything from that starting lineup. This is a lineup that started some games this season and played very well.
Parsons with another blocked shot and gets the rebound. As Bianca Jasper working up the court. Sporio to Shapira Parsons. Jump shot off the mark there, is off the rim, and is rebounded by Hinderleiter.
Something to note, Anthony, Shatera Parsons now with 2 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Those 3 blocks, she's getting the rebounds right after it. Just that resilient spirit for California.
A handoff now to O'Connor. Her shot up off the mark, off the rim, and Valacorsa saves it right to Mia Kushan before it goes out of bounds. Headlong pass to Sporio. Sporio on 2 girls, but it's blocked, and Parsons gets the ball right back and puts it in for 2 points.
There you're seeing, like Danny mentioned, the resilience and the speed there out of Parsons there. Hustle down the court. Slippery Rock knows she's going to crash the board, and she's able to beat Slippery Rock down the floor on that fast break, get the offensive rebound, and put it back up and in.
Madison Johnson on 2 girls. Doesn't get her shot to fall as that pass is stolen away and out of bounds by O'Connor. It'll be California ball there. Bianca Jasper fell to the court there. No call, though, on that.
Quite a few spills out there on the floor today on both sides.
Jasper over the half-court line. As Sporio will work here. Pass off to Jasper. Thought about a 3 and then elects to dribble it off. Under 10 to shoot. Jasper kicks out to Sporio. Jumper here. That one's off the mark, and Parsons gets the rebound. Parsons double team. And it'll go out of bounds off of Slippery Rock, and a whole slew of Rock check in. Henderson checks in, as well as Fordham back in the game.
This lineup for California as well. They have 2 real true point guards out on the court with Sporio and Jasper. That's something to look out for as well, because you can really open up your offensive playbook with 2 point guards out there on the court.
Sporio with it now to Kushan. Now Valacorsa. She passes it off to Shatera Parsons. Parsons driving in, kicks out Valacorsa. Open 3 up and good. Valacorsa, nothing but net there. 11-3 California.
And those are the type of shots you want to see if you're head coach Jess Strom. You know, there's higher percentage shots for the players that can shoot the ball like that. Wide open shot has to knock it down, and she did.
Valacorsa, a 15.4% shooter. Parsons with another block, and Jasper gets it up the court. Valacorsa driving in, shot up and good as she goes by Morgan Henderson.
And Valacorsa right now is playing on a next level than we're accustomed to seeing. Already with 7 points in this matchup, only averaging 3 a game. So Valacorsa playing outstanding as well as Parsons. 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks.
Everything going in favor of California right now. In transition scoring, it kind of looks like the California of a few years ago when they hung a banner in here. So, you know, you can see this California team starting to take shape. Everybody's starting to mesh out there on the floor, and you got to love this.
A travel by the Rock as California owns a 10-point lead with 2:15 to go here in the first quarter.
Something about this California offense as well. When they've struggled this season, they haven't been in rhythm. Right now, Valacorsa and Parsons are playing in rhythm, and that's big. Can California continue, that play, throughout this whole game?
A bad pass by Sporio as it was right through the defense, and Slippery Rock picks it up. Fordham working on Abby Sporio. That one is corralled by Petropola. Petropola kicks it out to Henderson. Henderson inside. Has a lot of moves there with her feet, but no travel call as she gets her basket to fall. Sporio gets the pass from Jasper. We'll go back to Jasper. As Sporio tells Parsons to come in for a screen, gets it over to Parsons. Parsons drives, a foul called on the floor, no shot.
Seeing her stretch out her leg there after that shot. It's really the first time we've seen her wince in any pain. So again, that's something to look for there. She wants, with that injury, I think the more she's moving, the better she's able to stay away from hurting there. So can she not get tightened up that we've seen so far?
Parsons missed a jumper there. She's usually pretty solid from that area, but she's missed so far today, and she has 4 points though. Hinderleiter trying to work on Sporio. And she will hand it off to Sierra Fordham. Fordham driving in, shot up, no good, and a blocking foul here on Bianca Jasper. And you're going to take a look here at the replay. Bianca Jasper just gets there a little late. She was outside the restricted area, though, so 2 shots coming here for Fordham, a 74.3% free throw shooter, and she makes her first. Checking in now for California, the sophomore 5'10" guard forward out of Warren, PA, DJ Hahn. One who loves to take charges, Dylan.
Yeah, she's giving Parsons a rest as well. You don't see her hit the bench too often. She plays normally all the minutes there for California.
Looks like she's going to be taking some tape off and maybe getting retaped around the ankle there and the shin area. As Sporio to Valacorsa. Over now, Sporio. Working inside, losing her dribble, but gets it to Valacorsa, and a travel here as she goes up and down.
And she kind of knew it right away. She saw it, looked over at the referee, and the referee called the travel. But California, we were talking about Shatara Parsons. She kind of came down a little bit awkward after a block a few possessions ago. Didn't get the rebound on that one. She just kind of blocked the ball away and went back in transition.
Fordham misses a shot, tipped around, and is rebounded there by Mallory Heinley.
And there you're seeing, without Parsons on the court, first possession here, Slippery Rock with the offensive rebound.
Henderson in the paint, gets it out. Petropoulos 3 up off the rim and off the top of the backboard. It'll be California ball, and they can hold for the last shot here. 13.9 seconds left in the first.
And California, Dylan mentioned it as well, lacking a little bit of size against this Slippery Rock team. Can't get those rebounds over some taller players out there on the floor.
6 seconds for Bianca Jasper. Jasper working inside, kicks it out. Kushan, 1 second, puts up a shot at the buzzer, no good. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. California leading 13-7 over the Rock of Slippery Rock. Stay tuned for the second quarter of the California Vulcans versus the Slippery Rock Rock here on PCN and the PSAC Network.
And lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun. No one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Welcome back to the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania, as the California Vulcans lead the Slippery Rock Rock 13-7 over the Slippery Rock Rock. As I'm Anthony D'Agostino, alongside me Dylan Goday, Danny Beck. So glad you could join us here on PCN. As Brooke Hinderlater inside to Henderson. Henderson pushes off Jasper, no call. I don't understand how that's not a charge, but all right. As Mia Kushan under the basket, gets it off to Jasper.
No Parsons out there on the court still for California. Again, she plays mostly all minutes there for the Vulcans, and she's taking significant time on the bench here.
Sporio misses a shot. It's rebounded by Heinley. As Fordham passes off inside. Henderson with it. Gets it back to Fordham. As that pass is tipped to Henderson, under 5 to shoot. as Sporio steals it away. It's Abby Sporio, 1-on-none to the basket, and Abby Sporio converts easily right there.
And she has that defensive presence out there on the floor. You're going up against in a mismatch, really, with a few seconds left on the shot clock. Abby Sporio, notice she's not really dribbling the ball. That was number 35, Morgan Henderson. She wasn't really dribbling the ball with any precision, so she came right in and just stole it right from her.
Henderson inside, shot up, no good. She was double-teamed in the paint. Up comes California on a 2-on-2 possibly. Jasper to the lane, gets it off to Kushan on a tomahawk pass there, and a timeout called by the coach for Slippery Rock. Again, 10-point lead for California. And we're going to take a look at the last two baskets. This will also be the media timeout. As you see here, Abby Sporio just going 1-on-none to the basket.
Yeah, she's able to get the steal, go right to the basket. We mentioned her play there. Have been without her the last couple games there due to head injury. And then Bianca Jasper, nice dish there to Mia Kushan. And Mia Kushan, the transfer there, averaged 20 points per game, one of the leading scorers in junior college in the whole country last year, as she was a junior college player. And here are the team leaders there for California. Mentioned Parsons numerous times. Actually, surprising there, she's not the leading rebounder. Kushan is there at 8.3 a game, but Parsons 21.5 there from Parsons. But Kushan and Parsons right around the same there at 8 rebounds per game. Assists there. Jasper off the bench today. There was 62 assists on the year. Parsons there with her length with 60 steals per game, and then minutes again with Parsons there at 33.6.
And California getting the ball around and pushing the ball around the floor is exactly what Slippery Rock likes to do. You can see there Brooke Hinderleiter with 6.6 rebounds leading the team and an assist with 59. So you see a lot of these different players on this Slippery Rock team that are really, they spread out the stats. You know what I mean? They're not only on one player. For California, it kind of all leans on Shatara Parsons. She can do it all for this team.
Making these rosters yesterday for the announcers here, I like to make a stats roster here for everybody. I had to update the roster from Slippery Rock from last year a lot. There was the majority of the players that were here last year for Slippery Rock, even though they weren't seniors, didn't come back.
It's very interesting. Maybe you can see something in the organization, but out there on the floor, they're not doing that bad this season. The 10-9 with a little bit of a different look.
A shot here up and off the rim, rebounded there. And another shot off the backboard now, rebounded by Hinderleiter. Under the basket, tipped around, and Heinley couldn't control it, so Sporio gets it, and up the court now is Parsons. Double team gets it out to Sporio. As Flood Francis with an out, passing it off, and Mia Kushan over to Abby Sporio. Sporio driving in, stops and goes to Parsons. Parsons, a right-handed shot off the rim, gets her own rebound, and the shot clock will reset.
9 rebounds now for Parsons. That's outstanding there. Not even really close to halftime yet, and she's already with 9 rebounds.
Gianna Flood Francis will get a charge call here as she pushes off against Mallory Heinley.
Kind of looked like she lost the ball as she was trying to go up for that one. But yeah, you mentioned it. Shatara Parsons with 9 rebounds already, with 4 points and 4 blocks as well. I may be seeing a double-double before halftime.
Madison Johnson, a redshirt sophomore out of Knox, PA, transfer out of St. Francis, passing it off as she gets it back. As Heinley in the paint now will lose possession of the ball, and a foul called here on Abby Sporio. Her first, as you see there, getting called for the hand check on that one, Dylan.
She did. A couple quick fouls there on California. This team can get into foul trouble, so that'll be something to look out for.
Johnson lost the ball right to Bianca Jasper, and a one-handed pass to Kushan, and a beautiful give and go to Abby Sporio to convert for the 2 points.
That was a great transition basket there by California, sharing the basketball there. Jasper kicks it up to Kushan. Kushan didn't force a shot up, found the open Sporio, and got an easy bucket.
O'Connor misses that, and it's rebounded there by Bianca Jasper. Bianca Jasper looking ahead to Flood Francis. Drives, and a charge call here as Flood Francis, just with her momentum, got it right into that Slippery Rock player.
Yeah, that's her second one in a row in the offensive side. So, Flood Francis, she's checking out as she rips off her, I guess, hand protector. I'm not even sure what that was, kind of like a brace. But nonetheless, yeah, she's trying to go up to the basket yet again, tough, and got called on the charge.
I heard from her director and producer she's had a torn ligament. That's what you're seeing there. As O'Connor passing it off, and a shot that's blocked from Sporio gets her own rebound, and it's rebounded there by Shatera Parsons and out of bounds off of California.
It could have been her 10th rebound there for Parsons, but she can't control it. It knocks out of bounds. But again, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 4 points so far for Parsons.
Pass is tipped by Bianca Jasper out of bounds.
Another interesting note here, the leading scorer this season here for Slippery Rock there, and Sierra Patterson, I don't believe she's dressed. She must be dealing with an injury there. I don't know about that, but the leading scorer there for Slippery Rock is out of this game.
Sierra Fordham, and a foul called here on Mia Kushan. And Kushan saying she didn't even touch her.
That was right in front of us, and I'm not sure I saw much contact either. There's been a lot of contact both ways. Take a look at this replay here. Not exactly sure
she
was
didn't
ever
touch her at all.
So what a call there.
Great shot by the camera guys there from CUTV. As Morgan Henderson with it now. Loses the ball, and another foul called here. This time on Abby Sporio.
Couple questionable calls now. California with 5 fouls in this quarter. Slippery Rock with 0. So, again, something to look out for.
A foul shooting here for Morgan Henderson, 75% from the line. Henderson's first up and good.
This season, Henderson shooting the ball 75% from the free throw line. So again, pretty good shooting percentage there. And Slippery Rock does have the advantage over California in terms of field goal percentage, free throw percentage heading into this matchup.
Henderson's second is good as it rattles around the rim. Jasper for California now. Bouncing it to Valacorsa. To Parsons as Jasper with long 3 up and off the rim. Rebounded by Leanne Gibson. Brooke Hinderleiter working on BB George, the redshirt freshman out of St. Thomas Virgin Islands. Inside shot up and good for Leanne Gibson.
Really can't do anything about that. BB George was in the right spot, put her hands straight up and just tried to do anything she possibly can. Slippery Rock, though, going on a little bit of a run of their own.
BB George gets it off to Jasper as Kushan will drive now. Under 10 to shoot. Gets it to Jasper. Now Valacorsa, 5. And a double dribble here as Valacorsa lost it.
California starting to turn the ball over there with the charges and the turnover there. California leads, actually has more turnovers than Slippery Rock now with 8.
Hinderleiter as Casal's about to check in the next stoppage. Hinderleiter shot up and off the rim, rebounded by Jasper. Jasper ahead to BB George. BB George one-on-one, shot up and good as the rim gave her a little bit of help there.
Yeah, in transition, California likes to just stretch the floor, really put these headlong passes right in the breadbasket of their teammates and get right to the basket.
A foul away from the ball here. And this is going to be a foul on Valacorsa. Parsons asking the referee what this is about. And Parsons is getting told to calm down as California really not happy with the refereeing so far today. A shot that's missed by Brooke Hinderleiter. She's an 88.4% free throw shooter, and she missed that one. As Hinderleiter with one more shot up and off the rim, misses both of them. Henderson gets the rebound, and a charge here as Henderson backed right in to Gina Valacorsa.
That's a good draw right there from Gina Valacorsa. You mentioned that DJ Hahn likes to take a lot of charges, but this California team putting their body on the line here earlier today.
And Valacorsa will inbound here. And Bianca Jasper for California setting up from the point. DJ Hahn will bounce it to Parsons as Casals inside to Shatera Parsons. Spin move, tough shot, up and good from Shatera Parsons in the post.
In the post, Parsons calming down this California team, getting to the basket there in the paint, and a nice play there by Parsons again, and continues her hot start.
Heinley will bounce it off. Shot up good and one for Leanne Gibson. DJ Hahn getting called for a foul here as she got contact. We'll see a replay here. And she does get the arm there a little bit. Leanne Gibson, a 60.8% free throw shooter, misses her only shot as DJ Hahn will corral the rebound. DJ Hahn to pass it off to Parsons. Parsons working here, gets a shot up, good and one for Shatera Parsons as she got that shot up to fall in the paint.
She has these post moves underneath the basket. You can see right here, just allows her to get right to the hoop and put up the shot. And Shatera Parsons now with 8 points, shooting 4 of 10 from the field, 9 rebounds and 5 blocks.
That was Skyla O'Connor's first foul as Parsons will miss that. DJ Hahn gets the rebound and a foul coming here on the rock. A great rebound here from DJ Hahn.
Danny mentioned it
Actually,
earlier.
it's going to be out of bounds, excuse me.
There about Parsons. She's now on her way to a triple-double if she continues this pace up for the remainder of this game.
Parsons' jump shot is good. A beautiful jump shot there.
Yeah, right off the dribble there. Parsons looked like she might have been driving the ball in, and then she backs off and takes a shot. Excellent play so far, dealing with an injury there with Parsons.
Sierra Fordham, shot up, no good, no foul as Bianca Jasper got run over. And a shot up is good there.
Good dish right there, finding the open person out there on the floor. That's something that Slippery Rock's going to have to do to get back into this ball game.
Parsons to Valacorsa, jump shot from the three-point line off the mark, and it's rebounded by Mallory Heinley. The Rock electing to slow things down here as Brooke Hinderleder will take it over. Leanne Gibson working in on DJ Hahn. Passing it back to Hinderleder. Hinderleder driving in there, shot up no good as Valacorsa fell over. No foul call there. Jasper setting things up, going to DJ Hahn. Parsons to Casals. As Casals working in the paint there, gets it off to DJ Hahn as she lost it. Under 10 to shoot now. Bianca Jasper driving in, shot up, tough shot off the rim, rebounded there by Valacorsa. Shot up no good on the block shot, and it goes out of bounds off of the rock.
Those are these second chance points that I was illustrating a little bit in that pregame, talking about how California likes to get the ball back, set up their offense. On that one, Gina Valacorsa just tried to go straight up and was fouled.
Jasper will inbound as Parsons working inside here, gets it off to Valacorsa. Jasper to bounce it off to Jeffries. Parsons driving through the paint, going through two defenders and gets the friendly roll.
She's playing outstanding basketball right now. Made the last 8 points there for California.
Parsons with 12 points, 1 rebound away from a double-double. As Parsons will not get that rebound, it'll be tipped out of bounds off of Shatera Parsons and go out of bounds.
She wants that double-double and is not afraid to put her body on the line going into our dancers over there. You can see on the replay here. Gina Valacorsa, though, just trying to do anything she possibly can. Excuse me, that was Natalia Casals.
3 ball up, no good. Rebounded by Gina Valacorsa. And Natalia Casals to pass it ahead to Bianca Jasper. Gianna Flood France, excuse me, that's Jameer Jeffries. As Shatera Parsons to Jasper, as Valacorsa with 10 to shoot. Now Parsons driving in, gets bumped, shot good and one, and a beautiful call there by Ken McLean as she gets the bump and the shot to fall.
She is taking control of this basketball game right now. The last 10 points of this game from Parsons. She drives to the basket right here, takes a lot of contact, kisses it off the glass, and puts it in. Parsons is putting on a show, and now California up by 16, largest lead of the game for the Vulcans.
Mallory Hindley with that foul there. That replay didn't necessarily do it justice with all the contact that was seen here from the floor as Parsons converts that shot. And it's a 15-point game for her with a minute left to go in the first half. Steal by Natalia Casals. And Casals to Jasper. Jasper shot up no good and is fouled by Sierra Fordham.
And that was a hard foul as well there by Fordham. Whacked Jasper right in the head there on that one.
Look at that steal by Natalia Casals. She read that pass beautifully there by Fordham, and then Fordham just whacks her right there on the arm and the head. Jasper's first off the iron. She's a 61% free throw shooter. And makes her second. California up 33-15. Sierra Fordham. Gets it off to Madison Johnson, working inside, free throw line jumper up and off the mark. Rebounded there by Bianca Jasper. Up ahead, way too far ahead for Natalia Casals, as she did not have the Mickey Glenn touch on that pass.
Yeah, and those are the passes I was talking about a lot. California likes to stretch the floor in transition, but nonetheless, that one was not completed to the intended receiver.
She was looking for a dilly dime, as we call it there on CUTV. Could not get that one in for that pass.
Sierra Fordham with a second difference between shot clock and game clock, except the game clock is lower than the shot clock, so pretty sure they can hold for the last shot. One second out of bounds, and that shot clock, I believe, should be turned off.
I do believe it should be turned off because it says 2 seconds. The game clock says 1. So
it'll be inbounded there from the Rock. As a 1 second left, it's going to be no shot. And California will go into the halftime break 33-15. We're going to send it to a commercial break. We'll be back for a special halftime show here on PCN and the PSAC network.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks. Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center here live on PCN and the PSAC Sports Network, as we have a special halftime show for you here today, as we are live statewide on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Once again, Anthony D'Agostino alongside me today is Danny Beck and Dylan Godet. And guys, a good matchup so far today. It's all California, though, starting off 33-15, leading over the Slippery Rock Rock.
Yeah, and it's really Shatara Parsons. You can say it's the Shatara Parsons show, if you will. She's just dominating in all aspects of the game, in scoring and rebounding, as well as blocks. She's being a force out there. She's shooting 7 of 13 with 15 total points, 9 rebounds, like we mentioned before, and 5 blocks. So she's really doing everything out there for California.
That she is, and California as well. Couple big runs there, 7 to 6 point runs about 3 times there in that first half, extending their lead to 33 to 15. It's got to be impressive there for California, just able to continue this, if they can continue this on in the second half.
And now we're going to take a look at the standings for the Pennsylvania State Athletics Conference. IUP, Edinboro, and California all right there vying for that top spot. IUP 12-1, 17-1. Edinboro 12-2, 16-2. California 12-2, 17-3. Those 2 losses for California come at Seton Hill and at Mercyhurst.
And that one loss for IUP not that long ago to California here. And
number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, so California, they definitely have the skill to contend with those top 3 spots and even go after it. But this California team, if they get into a system where they push the ball into the lane and give the higher percentage shots, you can see California start making a run later in the season.
Yeah, definitely. And a quick scoring update for IUP. They're in a close game right now with Mercyhurst only up by 1. They're in the third, 35-34 there, IUP against Mercyhurst. So that'll be a score to look out for as this day continues here in PSAC play.
And for Gannon, they're trying to get into the playoffs still. They're up on UPJ 23-20. Take a look at the East, Dylan. Westchester on top of the standings, 11-3, 14-4.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a close game there between Gannon and Pitt Johnstown as well.
And Westchester leading Bloomsburg right now, 40-27. Not much of a close game there for that one. Mansfield and Millersville, they are almost tied, 24-23, and Mansfield trying to make the playoffs here.
Yeah, definitely. That's a game between 2 teams trying to work their way into contention there to make the PSAC playoffs.
And Kutztown and Shippensburg, 33-25 over Shippensburg right now at halftime. And you probably can hear the crowd behind us. There's some loud people. Not used to that in the Convocation Center, but you see the PSAC schedule today, Dylan.
Yeah, they must have not got the memo where the student section is tonight. They're not behind us here tonight, but the PSAC schedule, we mentioned it there. Slippery Rock at California. Couple big other matchups. IUP at Mercyhurst. Both of those games should be well-contested games as well. Pitt Johnstown at Gannon could be looking for an upset there with Pitt Johnstown knocking off Gannon as well, and Bloomsburg at Westchester, as well as Kutztown at Shippensburg. That men's game, Kutztown at Shippensburg, should be a fantastic one.
And also, I don't know if you mentioned this, having trouble hearing you over here, but IUP and Mercyhurst, that's a huge game. California really has to circle that just due to the fact that they dropped to Mercyhurst and they beat IUP already. So that's a huge matchup in the PSAC West that could shake up a few things.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, Mercyhurst is down by 1, 34-33 to IUP right now in the third quarter in that one. As mentioned, UPJ at Gannon, as now you see the NCAA top 25, UPJ 25-20, Gannon leading in that one. But the top 25, this is the highlighted or in the Atlantic region of women's basketball here. Virginia Union number 4, number 6 IUP, number 13 Glenville State, number 14 the Vulcans of California, number 15 Edinboro, and number 25 Virginia State. Guys, that is a huge margin there for the Atlantic region in the national rankings.
It definitely is, and it's clear that this Atlantic region has skill. They're a talented bunch. All these teams representing very well throughout the entire top 25. You can see it from 4 and all the way down to 25. But yeah, California sitting right there in the middle. It's a comfortable little spot. Obviously, you want to make some moves up in the standings just a little bit. But yeah, nonetheless, this California team showing resiliency and just trying to move up the rankings.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting to see University of the Sciences in the national rankings there. They're out and around Philly area here in PA, I believe, which is kind of interesting to see as well. But we're going to take a look at some of the standings from around the region now, guys, the Atlantic region. And that tournament's coming up in March. California trying to buy their ticket there as the season continues. The Mountain East Conference in the Atlantic region. Glenville State the team, as you saw there in the national rankings, to look for there, as they are undefeated in the conference, 13-0 and 18-1.
Yeah, Glenville State is playing against UVA Wise here today, so that should be a win there for Glenville State. Again, those games start at 2 o'clock. The PSAC games start at 1, so not too many scores to give you so far, as they haven't tipped off yet. But I know from being from West Virginia and being familiar with the Mountain East, Glenville State is always a high-powered team, able to shoot the ball very well. A couple surprises there. Notre Dame, Ohio, they've been getting better as their time in the MEC has continued, has Notre Dame. West Liberty as well, kind of like their men's team. West Liberty's same style there as West Liberty. And Cal actually played early on in the season. California able to pick up a 68-61 win, as well as against Notre Dame. California played them as well and picked up a 9-point win.
That was the MEC PSAC Conference Challenge, and that was in South Euclid, Ohio. Here, the North and South divisions for the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association there. For the Atlantic region, Virginia Union 9-0, and then Fayetteville State 3-5. Dylan, I think you're trying to say, look at the.
I'm just saying, if Virginia Union plays Elizabeth City today as well, so it should be another win there, as the number 1 teams both in the MEC and the CIAA play the bottom of the conference, and both of those as well.
It looks to me like the PSAC is a little bit more competitive than the CIAA there, other than Virginia Union, kind of the outlier there. And I think you're going to see Virginia Union in the tournament really start showing whether or not they are the Virginia Union of last year that made it to, I believe, the NCAA final game.
Yeah, and we saw them last year, and they're a strong bunch. They're a hustle bunch, I guess you could say. They like to emulate exactly what Shatera Parsons is doing out there on the floor, but has it spread out throughout the entire team. So yeah, you can see there the MEC schedule.
Yeah, Urbana at West Virginia State should be a great game as well. Both those teams vying middle of the pack as well. West Virginia Wesleyan at Concord. That's quite the drive there for Wesleyan to have to travel down to Concord. I'll be interested to see how well they show up with that 2 p.m. Start time. And West Liberty at Fairmont State. I know for women there, that's a bit of a rivalry there between the two of those schools. And we mentioned it there with the CIAA schedule. I mentioned a little bit, Elizabeth City at Virginia Union. Should be a win there for Virginia Union. Again, Virginia Union's coming into this game 18 straight wins, so they can make that 19 with a win later on today.
And we're going to take a look now at some highlights from the first half here, guys. It's been all Californians. They're up 33-15.
It has been that for California. It's been all California, especially of late. They're ending the half on a 6-0 run, extending their lead to 18, the largest of the game there for California. And we take a look at more of these highlights here. Slippery Rock started out slow as well, but then California battled back. Abby Sporia there getting blocked, but then Shatera Parsons hustling down the court, putting it back up and in. One of her 9 rebounds there in that first half.
And you mentioned it was all California, and that's really due to the fact that California is executing. Slippery Rock shooting the same amount of shots in this first half as California, and Slippery Rock only has 5 makes out of 31 shots. California, other side, 15 of 31, just under half, shooting 48.4%. But that's huge for California. They like to execute, and Slippery Rock just trying to do exactly that. Unfortunately, they cannot.
Yeah, more of these highlights here in the first half. There we see California extending their run again. Abby Sporio won't get any easier than this, going right to the bucket there and picking up 2 of her points here in this game. And Bianca Jasper played great as a point guard so far this season. The freshman getting a nice pass there to Mia Couchon. And then Couchon sharing the basketball there to Sporio, and Sporio able to put it up and in. Sporio coming off the bench again. We mentioned her playing with a bit of a head injury still, must have cleared concussion protocol to make it back out here as well. And then there you see Jasper heading to the bucket, only averaging a point a game, so big for her to be able to get in a layup. And then Parsons started her run of 10 straight points there, actually making it 11 straight points to end the first half there for Parsons.
Yeah, Parsons is having a great game, possibly looking at a triple-double, guys. And I have not yet called a game where there was a triple-double. There's been games where it was really close, but you saw that bucket there from Shatera Parsons, had all kinds of contact, and yet she's still able to get that shot to fall. And then right there, a great jump shot there from Parsons. And Parsons having a day with 15 points 9 rebounds and 5 blocks. And just a stellar game for her as you see her continuing right there. The highlight reel for her as that just barely rolls in as Slippery Rock comes out now to start warming up.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of highlights there for California. For Slippery Rock, they're going to have to get on a run here to start the second half. You have to take Parsons out of this ball game as best you can. And I was looking at these halftime stats, Danny. You mentioned it there. Both teams, same amount of shots taken. Just California, 10 more made field goals there than Slippery Rock.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of rebounds as well, as California is out-rebounding the Rock 24-20, and that's pretty much the same story as Slippery Rock last game when they took on Gannon. They were out-rebounded 30-26 in the entire game. So there's a whole bunch of rebounds, shots not falling for Slippery Rock, and shots bouncing out of the rim for California. Also look over the turnovers, tied at 8, and then California executing on the defensive side and getting 6 steals to the Slippery Rock 3.
And California, looking at their points off of turnover, we talked about it before, 11 points so far off of 8 Slippery Rock turnovers. As PCN, guys, we're live on PCN if you noticed. If you're watching on the PSAC network and you want to watch on TV at home, you can tune into PCN. And PCN is your place to watch PSAC basketball as Gannon University takes on IUP, and that's going to be a great matchup for women and men. Live next Saturday, February 3rd at 5:30 p.m. on PCN Live on cable and the PCN Select app. Also, guys, a event coming up here at the Convocation Center, February 7th, the Harlem Globetrotters come to California, Pennsylvania, and you can visit www.harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets for that. Also, teasing this because why not? WCAL is giving away 4 tickets to see the Harlem Globetrotters for free that day. You can catch the opportunity to win tickets Sunday on Danny and Dylan's show, Locker Room Talk. You guys, you can tease your show. Why not?
Yeah, it's definitely tune into it. It's always fun. We always make it interesting. Kind of just go in and just talk sports. And what better place to give away some Harlem Globetrotters tickets than a sports show. So, yeah, just tune in. Kind of listen to how our personalities are on the air. And you can also see the personalities on Twitter at CUTV_PA. We post all the games, the game highlights, everything like that. You can hear our voices yet again.
Yeah, we post all our links to our YouTube channel as well as other videos and whatnot. But, yeah, Harlem Globetrotters, that's a big thing. You're either going to go to the Harlem Globetrotters or you're going to watch some Vulcans basketball or listen to some Vulcans basketball. They're at Gannon February 7th, and WCL will at least have the radio feed for the women at 5:30, the men at 7:30. So you can listen to the women's game before going to the Globetrotters game if you'd like.
Hey, and if you're lucky, if you choose the Vulcans game, you might be seeing a little bit of a Harlem Globetrotter-esque game being played. California passing the ball quite a few times around. So you might be seeing a little bit of mix of both.
I don't know if the California Vulcans are going to be sitting on top of the rims and
no, I don't think so.
playing basketball.
That's the one difference. It's the one difference.
Back to live action here as California will start with the possession. Jameer Jeffries to Natalia Casals, and a foul called here off the ball. It's on number 35, Morgan Henderson, as she will check out from Mallory Heinley. Casals to inbound it. Up ahead to Mia Kushan as Jameer Jeffries passes it off to Shatara Parsons. Parsons out to Kushan, jump shot up and good, and Kushan loves those long jumpers, Dylan.
Yes, she does. And stretching back to the end of the first half, California on their longest run of the game, extending into their largest lead of the game with 20 points as the lead there, and their 8-point run, largest of the game.
Parsons working there on Hinderlater as the ball tipped around. Hinderlater gets it off, and a wide open 3 up and no good. Rebounded though by Hinderlater, shot up, and a rebound by Petropola. Her shot falls in.
And a ton of second chance opportunities on that for Slippery Rock. You can see their coach over there clapping it up and wants to see this out of his team every single time down the floor.
Jameer Jeffries over to Valacorsa. Mia Kushan will dish it out to Casals, and Shatera Parsons kicks it out to Casals. Driving in, Casals layup, no good. Rebounded by Kushan, and a foul, a over-the-back foul.
They looked like they called it on California, but I think it was just the official making the wrong call, which way the ball will be going there. Looks like they called an offensive foul there on Kushan, but that is going to be against Slippery Rock. It's number 20 there for Slippery Rock in Gibson.
Mia Kushan thought about a three, elected not to take it. As Valacorsa dishes it to Shatera Parsons. Kushan fakes a shot, dribbles in. Gets it out to Parsons. Parsons inside, and a foul here. A 3-second violation on Gina Valacorsa as she stayed there a little bit too long.
You got to have that awareness out there on the floor, especially when you're in the paint on offense. You got to move around a little bit and make some opportunities. You know, moving around on the floor could also lead to more opportunities for your offense, but also won't draw the foul.
Shot up, no good, and a rebound there by Petropola, who gets her second chance shot to fall in. Natalia Casals running the point here, getting it off to Mia Kushan as Valacorsa will back up and drive through here, dishing it out. Mia Kushan, long shot off the rim and rebounded there as Jameer Jeffries puts the shot in from the low post.
Nice hustle there by Jeffries. I haven't mentioned her name a lot here tonight, but a nice play, getting that rebound and putting it back up and in.
Last game at Clarion, we saw every player who was dressed score for California.
Could be well on our way to something similar to that here today, as California extending this lead now, playing a bit better than I really expected coming in this matchup. A tough stretch for the women there. A bit surprised at how well they've been executing here in this game.
After that Mercyhurst loss, I think that was a little bit of a gut check for California there, as they lost to a team in Mercyhurst who was not very good, but Mercyhurst a very tough team to play at home. A great defense there by Shatera Parsons. No backcourt violation there, as they were able to get it before going over off the backcourt. Three-point shot misses everything, but it's blocked by Shatera Parsons, which is why it missed everything.
She went from one side of the court all the way to the other corner and blocked that one. Kind of had a weird trajectory, as you can see here on your screen. Just got her fingertip on that one, kind of took a weird bounce.
That shot's up and good for Sierra Fordham. A two-pointer there. Gina Valacorsa to Shatera Parsons. Parsons working inside there, shot up and no good. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Jameer Jeffries. Madison Johnson wanted an over-the-bat call on Jeffries, and I kind of could see where she was coming from on that one.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Jeffries went at it a little bit late, getting over to it. Kind of almost looked like she tipped it out of bounds herself, but nonetheless, referees can see a little bit better than we can.
Petropola will hand it off to Fordham. Steal by Natalia Casals, but a foul called here on Sierra Fordham, as Casals with great defense. Fordham getting called here for the push.
I don't know about that call there. Looked like it could have easily been on Casals or just a no call there.
Yeah.
Understand the frustration there from Fordham, but a nice play nonetheless there by Natalia Casals. Hasn't been too much of a factor in this game with getting the start in the second half, but she's played very well. That with plays like that just don't show up in the stat sheet.
Jameer Jeffries, Sporio, Kushan over to Parsons. Parsons driving, off-balance shot, no good. Tipped and rebounded by the 6'1" guard, Petropola. And up comes Petropola, bounces it inside, shot up, no good. Rebounded by Shatera Parsons, and that gives Parsons a double-double. As Jasper will reset, 10 rebounds, 15 points, 6 blocks, 1 steal for the California Vulcan, Shatera Parsons.
Seeing a lot of movement out of this California offense as well, due to this man defense that we're seeing from Slippery Rock. It's something that we haven't seen. We didn't see in the first half of play. The smothering man defense, we saw this played out, but California really forced to move around on the floor and find the open player, which sometimes it's hard to find.
Parsons, tough shot, gets her shot to fall in. She's just a workhorse for this Vulcans team, Danny.
I'm telling you, gets underneath the hoop, puts up the shot, one hand, it doesn't matter. Shatera Parsons just getting to those high percentage shots and getting them to fall.
Brooke Hinderleiter getting double teamed, throwing it across, and it's going to be out of bounds as some miscommunication between Petropola and Morgan Henderson.
Yeah, she tried to get the pass inside there to Henderson, I believe, and then Petropola comes running in there and kind of disrupted that one. as Gary there, our producer says, it's a dilly don't there. I like that. Dilly don't there with that pass.
Just don't make that pass.
Exactly.
That's what we say is Casals for the Vulcans getting off to Sporio. To Casals, she drives in, gets it off to Jameer Jeffries. A travel here as Jameer Jeffries tries to go through two defenders.
I believe that contact there kind of just caused her to drag her foot there and get called with the travel.
I've seen quite a few times whenever Abby Sporio is getting the ball, she's not looking to the hoop. She's looking for a pass, just trying to establish that confidence, especially with 5 minutes elapsed in this third quarter of play. You want to see that confidence out of your players.
Heinley with a shot there as she goes over top of the Vulcan defender, Jameer Jeffries, I believe. Casals to work here. Kicks it out to Sporio, long two up and off the rim. Jasper gets the rebound and will set up the offense once more. And men's basketball player might have gotten the rebound and tried for a reverse layup. But Parsons' long shot, no good. Rebounded there by Hinderleiter. Out of bounds off of Slippery Rock. And we have a timeout here. 4:16 left to go in the third quarter. 39-23 California.
I believe that one was actually off of Jameer Jeffries. She was going, Sierra Fordham was going out of bounds. She kind of threw it behind her between her legs, and that allowed her to get the ball back for her offense, kind of in a precarious situation right on that baseline.
As you see some of the highlights from the second half, there's four there. You also hear the band in the background. Some members of the Cal Marching Band and Concert Band here today.
Great
on
to have
a lovely Saturday.
Great to have the pep band here. Fantastic. Just get some energy in here. This is one of the largest crowds. I know we've been in winter break, but I think so far this season, this may be the highest attended game so far for the women.
Yeah, it's a good crowd today. IUP's game, even though it was off for break, it was still a pretty good crowd. As you see there, California University Television, give us a like on Facebook. We post a lot of our crew pictures as well as the links to our YouTube broadcasts and videos as well.
It's a great way to stay connected as well. I mentioned you can watch all of our past videos, our past games that we do. Both Anthony and I from the eastern side of the state out in Harrisburg and Lancaster. It's a good way for our family to keep up on what we're doing. And whenever our parents ask us, hey, what are you doing this week? It's got a full slate of games to watch if you want to watch them on Facebook.
You know who else is on Facebook? PCN on Facebook and Twitter. As you can find PCN on both Facebook and Twitter at PCN TV, and cheer on your team using the hashtag NCAA D2 on PCN.
A silky smooth transition from Anthony D'Agostino.
I do what I can. Petropola to over to Hinderleiter now. As inside pass to Henderson, a off-balance shot off the rim and is rebounded by Casals. Headlong pass to Sporio. Sporio corrals it one-on-one, shot up and good and one as Sporio gets hit in the nose by Brooke Hinderleiter. And hopefully she's not bleeding because that will take some time off us here.
It
looks like she's all right,
Sporio's been hitting the head a couple times here in the last few games. Sporio there, just with her aggressive play, you kind of get that, and wow, what a whack right across the tip of the nose there on Sporio.
Sporio, a little bit of pain here. Referee Ken McLean just making sure she's all right and not bleeding.
In the IUP game, I believe that's when she got hit in the face there. It caused her to miss some significant time.
Well, in the IUP game, Sporio hit a brick wall of the IUP player, fell backwards, hit her head off the court, and was dazed and confused for a while. Let play continue. Actually, referee Ken McLean was at that game. Let play continue while she looked like she had a concussion. And then finally they blow the whistle, and she gets off the court, comes back in the game later after getting checked out. And then at Mercier's we find out, oh, by the way, she has got a head injury. She's going to have to sit out in concussion protocol.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and it looked like we're going to have a little bit of a timeout. We can see this one more time. You can see right at the end after she makes this shot, Hinderletter's going to come down and bang right there, kind of hit her right off the face. You know, she reacts immediately, clearly in pain. Still makes the shot, but nonetheless, you know, that's the kind of play that you want to see from your team. Yeah, not get injured, of course, but make the shot and still have that strength to come down and keep your composure and get it.
You see the pep band there, a little pep band today, but no, pep band nonetheless, as this game will be back as a replay if you want to watch it on CUTV Sports 1, our YouTube page, and you can check out all of our broadcasts that we had done in the past on CUTV Sports 1. Our game at Clarion was live on CUTV Sports 1, so hopefully on Saturday we can be live at Edinburgh, as that game is at 1 and 3. No games this Wednesday, though, for California, as they have a bye. But as we said before, if California Vulcans basketball is your thing, but you just can't get enough basketball at all in general, PCN, again, you can watch the PSAC basketball game for the Gannon University against IUP as they take on the Indiana Crimson Hawks live next Saturday, February 3rd at 5:30, PCN live on cable and the PCN Select app. So you can watch basketball many different ways here now on PCN as well. Abby Sporio will come back here now to shoot her foul shot after getting tended by the training staff. Her first shot off the rim, rebounded there by Jameer Jeffries, and a possible 4-point opportunity on this possession. 4 or 5-point if it's a 3-point. Parsons to Casals. Casals driving in, shot blocked as she loses it there to Mallory Heinley. O'Connor working over the half-court line as Sierra Fordham moves past Sporio, shot up and good as she goes over Jameer Jeffries.
Great way of spinning away from California there and getting to the hoop, as now you see the score 41-25, closing that gap.
Bianca Jasper to Casals. Jump shot from Casals off the mark, off the rim, and rebounded there by Petropola. As Petropola dishes it off and loses the ball there. A jump ball coming here. Slippery Rock has possession.
See that nose injury there to Sporio. It doesn't affect her hustle as she gets on the floor there for that tie-off for a loose ball.
Sierra Fordham to inbound it from the baseline. Get to the head to Skyla O'Connor. O'Connor as now Fordham. Inside pass to Henderson, stolen away there as Casals tips it. It's a 2-on-0 possibly. Gets it off to Kushan. Kushan shot no good and is fouled. That was close to going in. Great hustle by Casals though.
Yeah, and she knew that she had a defender coming right behind her, as you can see here. Coming into your screen there, that's going to be number 12, Sierra Fordham. And she knew, Kushan knew as well, and just tried to put the shot up. Unfortunately, it couldn't fall, but she goes to the line now.
Kushan, the best free throw shooter for this Vulcans team, and misses the first one.
You don't want to see that, you know, in a situation you can get the easy shots, you know, put that in quotes, easy shots from the line. I really have to try to keep your composure at the line. It's sometimes difficult. I know I can't really shoot that well from the free throw line, so I don't blame her. But here, lining up her second shot now.
Kushan with her second. Will make her second, so 1 of 2 from the line so far there.
Kushan adds an interesting element to this team. She can play kind of a small forward role as well as a guard role there. So very versatile is Kushan there.
That pass is stolen by Sporio. Sporio ahead to Parsons on a beautiful pass. Shot good and one for Shatera Parsons as Madison Johnson clips her on the way up.
That's a big shot right there. That's 2 possessions. 2 times they were fouled going up to the hoop. And California now, actually the referee's discussing a little bit.
The referees are going to be discussing this here. They may call an intentional foul here. I don't think it was intentional. It looks like she was going for the hand there. As the referees are going to come over to the far side table. The basket's good. They're giving Madison Johnson a foul there. And they're giving a technical foul to number 3, Shatera Parsons. Huh. So I obviously was upset after the foul happened. You see the interception there.
She makes the first free throw of the technical foul free throw shots, but again, I'm not quite sure. She must have said something there, did Shatera Parsons?
It's the only way you can really fathom that being called, you know, in a sense like that.
You drop the F word. I think that's an automatic technical foul. Even if you're just saying it in frustration, as Parsons going to take her 1 shot here.
It's kind of weird. You see foul shots, technical foul shots, and then you switch over and you get the foul shot from the initial foul, I guess you could say.
Right. And Parsons will miss that, and it will be rebounded there by Petropola. Sierra Fordham passing it off there to Hinderlater as Fordham gets it back. Long 3 up and off the rim, rebounded there by Kushan. Ahead to Bianca Jasper, 1-on-1. Jasper to the lane, missed that. Parsons shot up good and one as Parsons with some great second chance opportunities there.
That's strong offense right there from Shatera Parsons. That's another one going down the floor for California. See a missed shot there, and then Shatera Parsons just gobbles up those seconds right there and puts it in the basket.
Yeah, her performance here today is something special. And right there, it's kind of a statement play as it just gets called with the technical in the last possession, comes down, gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up and in. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 6 blocks. Outstanding performance there by Parsons.
She missed that foul shot, but right now her missing her foul shots aren't too worrisome for California, as she's just being a workhorse so far today. As Fordham passing it off out of bounds, tipped by Gianna Flood Francis, the junior out of Pittsburgh, PA, transferred out of Salem. Fordham to inbound it from the near sideline and gets it off to Leanne Gibson. Gibson gets the pass stolen by Shatera Parsons, so add a steal to her now, making it 2 on the night. Jasper elects not to take a 3. As Shatera Parsons inside, gets it from Jasper, kicks it out as Sporio gets it to Jasper, under 10 seconds to shoot. Jasper's shot up, no good, tipped around and rebounded by Sierra Fordham.
With all the excellent play of California here today, mid-range jump shots have been an issue for California so far today. They're going to have to hit those come PSAC play, tournament play. So going to need to get some work on that, maybe in practice some.
Jasper with a great job as she was falling, getting the ball as a steal there from California. Slippery Rock now leading in turnovers, 14. California with 10 steals, so 4 of the turnovers were unforced. California forced 10 and stole the ball away. Shatera Parsons layup no good, rebounded there by Heinley. The shot clock off, a steal by Jeffries and a out of bounds play here. Actually a foul called here on Mallory Heinley, her second. And we're going to be shooting foul shots. Mallory Heinley with 2 fouls and 2 points. Gianna Flood Francis will shoot some foul shots here. She's 62.1% this season. Her first up and no good.
Free throw shooting worrisome here for
Yeah.
California. Again, not the best free throw shooting here tonight. Only 3 of 11 is California. So they're going to have to continue, pick that up as, again, we keep mentioning PSAC play, conference play, tournament play. They're going to have to pick that up come that time of the season.
Especially when they travel to IUP or at Edinburgh, when those are not give-me games. As Hinderleiter passing it off there. A 3-ball up and good for Sierra Fordham, the 41.7% three-point shooter. California leads by 17, 47-30 at the end of 3. You're watching PSAC women's basketball here on the PSAC network and live on PCN.
Dylan, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Buchanan, West Virginia can watch our stuff up here.
They can follow us on Twitter or they can like us on Facebook.
That's awesome. What about our sports? How can they watch that?
They could watch it live right on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center here on PCN and the PSAC Sports Network. As I'm Anthony D'Agostino, alongside me, Danny Beck, Dylan Godet. So glad you could join us here for live PSAC women's basketball here. As you can catch the best of Pennsylvania sports, watch the PSAC games weekly and weekly high school matchups, PIAA championships, and more on PCN on cable and the PCN Select app. See all of PCN sports action on PCNTV.com. As Gianna Flood Francis gets it off to Bianca Jasper. A score update for you really quickly. Mercyhurst is leading IUP 51-48 with 8:55 to go in the fourth quarter. We are going to keep an eye on that one as we have just started the fourth quarter here at California. Gianna Flood Francis, 3-ball up off the rim, rebounded there as Petropola gets it off and Tara Parsons steals it. Parsons dishes it in the post, shot up no good for Abby Sporio, and she will go to the line.
Sporio, quite the performance here off the bench, coming off of that injury. She's hustled very well, able to get numerous of hustle points here today. As again here, she flies back as Parsons gets that steal, dishes it off to Sporio, and I'm pretty impressed about the play here of Abby Sporio.
Sporio misses her first foul shot as Madison Johnson checks in. Transfer out of the D1 St. Francis in Loretto, PA, as Abby Sporio makes her second foul shot. Fordham working here, almost stolen away there by Abby Sporio. Got a hand on it and tipped it out of bounds. As California likes to call her, Danny, the Secretary of Defense.
And she can get the ball back for her offense to get to work. Yeah, that you see those second chance points, see those points off turnovers and stuff like that. You see a lot of that assimilated with Abby Sporio's name.
Bianca Jasper leaping up to tip that one, try to steal it and goes out of bounds. 10 seconds to shoot for the Rock. Petropola to inbound. Shatera Parsons with a block there as it's going to go out of bounds and be a kick ball violation. Parsons with now 7 blocks on the night.
quite the performance again by Parsons. And I'm not sure I've seen a triple-double in quite some time with blocks as that third statistic.
I don't think I have. I've seen assists and steals. As that one will go out of bounds off of California.
So now Parsons' stat line reads 21, 11, and 7 currently.
Inbounding from the baseline, Henderson gets it and hands it back off to Fordham. Fordham dishes it out. Tipped and picked up there by Jasper. Jasper, quick on her feet to Kushan. Kushan kicks it back out to Jasper. They will reset the offense here. Gianna Flood-Francis over now Jasper as Sporio drives in, gets her shot blocked by Morgan Henderson out of bounds, and we will have some players check in, Mallory Heinley and Brooke Kinderleiter.
Henderson there with a Shatera Parsons-esque block, just smacks that right out of the air there and into the dancers again. The dancers, Danny, have taken some hits here from players as well as the ball here today.
Yeah, they've seen their fair share of little injuries over there.
Parsons just doing work in the paint there, getting that shot up and in. California up 20, 50-30. Steal by Kushan. 2-on-1. Kushan shot up and good as she goes past Sierra Fordham. Slippery Rock not as bad as Clarion, but California looking like they're playing Clarion again today.
They definitely are. They're really forcing turnovers, forcing mistakes out of the Slippery Rock team, and that's equating into scoring 20 points off of turnovers here tonight, and 14 steals for California, so that's huge.
To 3 steals there for Slippery Rock. So Slippery Rock's not able to turn this California team over. Sometimes this season, California's hit the turnover bug. The flu bug is going around, and California has sometimes this season looked like they had the turnover bug and turned the ball over and caused them problems, but not here today.
California came into this game averaging 16.8 turnovers a game. They have 10 so far. Slippery Rock averaged 11 turnovers a game. They have 18 today. California with points off of turnovers, they have 20 today and 14 steals. California averaging about 14 steals a game, so they've reached their average. As you see some upcoming broadcasts on CUTV at Edinburgh the February 3rd, at Gannon February 7th, at UPJ February 10th, a tough 3-game road trip, and then Valentine's Day date night, Mercyhurst at Cal U here February 14th. Dylan, why are you on my shoulder?
And I hope that you and I are on the call for date night there. I'd love for that one to happen there. I might have to get like a pink tie or something to wear with you there, Anthony.
I thought you wanted to be the men's play-by-play guy. I don't know if we can.
Who knows? If it's date night, I might mix things up to be on the call with you.
Look at these sweethearts over here.
He's wearing a red suit too, so
yeah,
you're gonna have to wear that for Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, you will.
I don't have a red suit like that. I got maybe some red ties and pink ties and whatnot, but that's about it. Slippery Rock to inbound it here. From the far sideline, California electing to go a little bit press here, Dylan. Some man coverage.
Yeah, maybe just getting some practice with this. I'm a bit surprised with the 22-point lead. They try to go into the press.
And Shatera Parsons blocks the inbound pass.
Their next game at Edinburgh, it's a huge game, so maybe getting some practice for heading into that matchup, especially with IUP losing to Mercyhurst right now.
This has to be frustrating if you're Slippery Rock. You know, you're just trying to get the ball back in, trying to play your game again. And California all over you with a block from Shatera Parsons, a tip away from Mia Kushan as well. Now they're in their offensive zone, so it's a little bit, takes the pressure off just a bit.
That shot up and no good by Henderson, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Slippery Rock. Unfortunately, that block didn't count as a block for Shatera Parsons. They only count block shots as that block stat line. Parsons over to Sporio. Gianna Flood-Francis gets it back to Sporio as Parsons with it now. Pass it off to Kushan. Under 10 to shoot for Kushan. Long 3 up. and no good. Rebounded by Henderson. Henderson, 6'2", has a little bit of a height advantage there. As Hinderleiter working on Sporio, switches off with Shatera Parsons. Parsons doesn't get a chance to block that one as Hinderleiter's shot goes through.
And turnovers, Buck there for Slippery Rock almost ended, added another one there to that statistic, but able to get that ball up and in.
Sporio gets it off to Kushan. Spin move there, gets it out to Parsons, long two up and good. Parsons with a beautiful jumper beyond the foul line. As Hinderleiter will take it over. Working on Abby Sporio, gets it off to Henderson. Henderson's jumper off the rim and rebounded there by O'Connor. Skyla O'Connor shot up no good, and it was blocked by Shatera Parsons.
Another block for Shatera Parsons, and she's just commanding out there on the floor. Even if she's not away, and even if she's away from the ball or anything like that, her force and her presence in the lane kind of pushes everybody away from her.
And unfortunately, Parsons will sit out now as Sporio gets the ball. Ahead comes Sporio as DJ Hahn. A beautiful shot there and a beautiful give and go from Abby Sporio.
That's her first basket of the night for DJ Hahn. She was kind of out there earlier on in this contest as a defensive presence.
Natalie Casal is so far the only player to not score in the contest, and a foul here coming. That's on Gianna Flood Francis, her third, team's first. As Madison Johnson gets it off to Sierra Fordham, passing it off to O'Connor. A foul here on DJ Hahn as she grabbed her arm there a little bit.
Maybe even saying a good foul on that one, as her matchup had basically a direct route right to the basket on that.
Inbound play for the Rock. Way over the head there is the look out to the bench to Slippery Rock.
Another dilly don't there with that pass.
Leanne Gibson with, she's 5'10". You know, is she going to jump up there and get that ball? I mean,
she needs to be about 7 feet.
Yeah, at least.
As Jasper to dish it out to Abby Sporio. Flood Francis to Jasper. Over to BB George. BB George to DJ Hahn. Jumper up and no good. Rebounded there by Slippery Rock as it goes out of bounds. Sierra Fordham. Over the line for the Rock. Johnson working on George, gets by her, and a blocking foul called here.
To my vantage point, it looked like Hahn was set there. Maybe we take a look at this replay here. Maybe she slid under that, and there she did at the last moment. Great camera work there, and you can see that DJ Hahn slid under there for that block.
Good call there by the official, as Madison Johnson to take 2 shots.
And shout out to Skateboard Matt there with the camera work there for CUTV.
I was definitely going to say we have to give a lot of credit to everybody on our crew helping us do this game every single week. Our camera people are second to none. They can definitely help us out a lot. For the announcers, we can see a lot of different angles from a different shot. So thank you to everybody else on the crew.
Bianca Jasper with it now, as Sporio bounced it inside out of bounds off of Slippery Rock. California's Bianca Jasper to inbound it to Abby Sporio. As BB George gets it off to Jasper, 10 seconds to shoot. Now 5. Jasper to Hahn, jumper up and no good. And it's saved but stolen away there by Krista Petropola. Madison Johnson now. Shot up, no good. Rebounded by DJ Hahn, and she hands it off unintentionally to Bianca Jasper. Abby Sporio cherry picking there in the paint, and she gets that one to fall. It's a beautiful pass from Bianca Jasper.
Almost couldn't handle it at the last second. Thankfully, she got that one and just put an easy shot up, and that's her 9th bucket of the night. 9th point of the night, excuse me.
Henderson has a steal by Sporio. It's a 3-on-2. Bounce it up to George. George's shot up and good as Petropola was out of position to try to block that one. 60-34 California. A timeout called by Slippery Rock.
California in this one with 13 assists. Bianca Jasper and Abby Sporio with 4 apiece, and Sporio as well leading this team with 5 steals. Picks up another one there. Gets the defense to collapse on her there in the 3-on-2 break. Kicks it off to BB George, and that's textbook. Teams practice and practice little. We used to do it in high school, and I've seen Cal do it some in their practices. A 3-on-2 and back into a 2-on-3 break. That's exactly what we saw right there, as well as taking a look now at the CalVulcans.com staff there with Matt Kiefer there and all he does there with Cal Vulcans. It's something I'm noticing now, they keep up with their Twitter page very well. I'm looking at other teams, IUPs, Edinboro, East Stroudsburg, their Twitter pages right now trying to get some updated stats and of games going on right now, as well as IUP. And Cal U's looks cleaner than everyone else's, and you can tell that they take a lot of time of making sure they're keeping their fans updated with play going on.
All the links, live stats, video, and audio are all there for CalVulcans.com. Your one-stop shop for all Cal U sports. Update in the Mercyhurst IUP game. Mercyhurst up by 1, 57-56. Look out, got a barn burner in Erie.
So it was a good game, and you have to really circle those matchups, especially for California. And like I said before, a loss and a win over both of those teams for California.
Mercyhurst, the underdog of the season right now, upsetting possibly 2 ranked opponents, one in California and then one in IUP, if they were to win today. A 3-ball up, misses everything, rebounded by Gianna Flood-Francis. Ahead to Bianca Jasper. As DJ Hahn will toss it over to Valacorsa, who elects to go to Jasper. Around the horn they go, BB George to Flood-Francis, and now Jasper taking some time off the clock. As Flood-Francis driving in now, under 10 to shoot, shot up no good, but a foul coming here on the Rock. It is on number 15, Skyla O'Connor.
Had her arms wrapped around there from Flood-Francis. Another thing to mention there with that IUP Mercyhurst game, IUP falls in that. Cal is back on top there. They own the tiebreaker. There's IUP, I believe, at the moment, and that would be big there for California.
That it would. California right now 3rd. They are
actually they're in a 2-way tie there with Edinboro, and Cal doesn't have a game until Edinboro. So again, that would be headlining a huge matchup there with Edinboro.
Yeah, that'd be a huge matchup February 3rd at Edinboro. So make sure you stay tuned for that matchup on CUTV as a blocking foul called here on Valacorsa. Valacorsa a little bit unhappy with that one, but might have got there a little late.
She did. We take a look at this replay here. She tries to get over there and help, but again, pattering her feet there at the end and late to get to that charge.
She was there about a second earlier. That would have been a good charge call, but that foul shot good, as she made her basket as well. 61-37 the score here. Bouncing it over to DJ Hahn as Flood-Francis goes inside, kicks it out to DJ Hahn. A travel here as DJ Hahn drags her pivot foot.
You got to be aware of that as well if you're DJ Hahn. You had an open shot right there, couldn't take it, picked up your dribble, and dragged your pivot foot, just like you said, Anthony.
Fordham inside to Heinley as she will bounce it inside, and a foul called here on Gina Valacorsa. 2 shots coming here. Her second, team's 5th.
At the end of this game, California just trying to get some valuable minutes for some people that they would like to get hot at the end of this season and be able to put some points up. Again, with that matchup with Edinboro, can't get any bigger than that one. Especially playing at Edinboro has not been too favorable for California. So a win on that trip will be big.
Made her second, 1 of 2 from the line in that department. As Bianca Jasper to DJ Hahn. Jasper to hand it off to Valacorsa. Around the horn as DJ Hahn. Inside now George. BB George layup, no good. Tipped and rebounded there by Valacorsa, and a foul called here. Offensive on California. Gianna Flood Francis gets her 4th foul.
Looking at stats here for California as well, as we're in a bit of a break of an action before this free throw here for California. Well, 9 seconds, Mercier's just appeared to made a 3-pointer. So Mercier's there with the 3-point lead.
And now IUP starting to foul here as Mercier's up 62-59. Carolyn Appleby missed a 3-pointer with 13 seconds left to tie it as Gibson makes their foul shot there.
Again, looking at California stats, there's an efficiency stat there on the live stats, and usually you see those around 15 to 20 for a good game. Tara Parsons up to 36 with her efficiency from that game. That is a evaluation there, factoring in all offensive and defensive statistics there with 36 as an efficiency. That's fantastic play there on the Parsons.
Jasper too strong there, missed the rim, so 4 seconds. DJ Hahn, long 3 up and misses everything. As it'll be IUP ball.
I mean, Slippery Rock, not IUP.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at IUP, Slippery Rock ball. I have the IUP game up here because this is really important for California. As Kaylee Young from Fort LaBeouf, PA, the freshman in now for Slippery Rock. Shot up no good, rebounded there by BB George. As Madison Johnson and Bianca Jasper to BB George. Jasper to Petropola. Flood Francis inside. BB George no good, but Flood Francis' shot is good. 1 second on the shot clock. Valacorsa shot up and off the rim. A fight for the ball. Slippery Rock has it. And ahead comes number 12, Sierra Fordham, as she makes that basket.
And Bianca Jasper there with the ball, and the fans behind us, quite the funny nickname there for Bianca Jasper, is saying she looks similar to Mickey Glenn. We've mentioned that in several of our broadcasts, but calling her the baby Mickey there, I think that's a good nickname there for Jasper to be like compared to someone like Mickey Glenn.
BB George in the paint, dishes it out. Shot up and no good, tipped around and out of bounds off of California.
Talking about Bianca Jasper, she plays exactly like Mickey Glenn too, that spirit out there on the floor, the commanding spirit, if you will. But, you know, she's a young player, and she still has that, you know, leadership out there on the court.
20 seconds left. Now 15, as that is going to go out of bounds. 0.7 seconds between shot clock and game clock, and now the shot clock is off, and California can just hold it here for 15 seconds. As California will win by 20, 61-41 here over Slippery Rock. Guys, any final thoughts?
It was a good defensive game for California and a good showing by Shatara Parsons, obviously. We talked about it quite a bit. I know she came up a little bit short of that triple-double, kind of what we wanted to see, but a double-double out of her is great every single night. We'll take that.
My final thoughts here, big win for California heading into a week-long break until their next game there Saturday against Edinboro. So stay on the lookout for that game. That will be one of the marquee matchups, not just in the PSAC, but across the whole country there in Division II basketball.
For the Mercyhurst IUP game, 63-61 with 5 seconds left. Mercyhurst leading. We don't know who won that game possibly. If it comes up before I close the broadcast, I'll make sure to let everybody know. But thank you all for watching this game here live on PCN as the number 14 California Vulcans win 61-41 over the Slippery Rock Rock. We have men's basketball action back here on PCN as well, coming up at around 3 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But for Danny Beck, Dylan Godet, the entire CUTV crew, thank you all for watching basketball here on the PSAC Sports Network and PCN. I'm Anthony D'Agostino, and until next time, have a great day, everybody.